lessons for all ages every single week, and me, I'm here Wednesdays at 4 p.m. We cram as much information as we can into these little 30-minute segments, and we bring you 12 of them per trimester. This is our second trimester, and it's gone by extremely fast. In fact, 20 drum performance opening up for Casa Overall at Durham, North Carolina's premier jazz venue called Missy Lane's on September 17th and 18th. So if you're tapping in, if you're in the States, in particular if you're in the Carolinas, and in particular if you're in the Triangle, which is Chapel Hill, Raleigh, and Durham, come through, catch our set. Casa is promising to give you an ill set, and so am I, so it's going to be two for the price of one. Come through. But the point is that I've got this really different set, which involves a lot of really different drum machines, and I'm truly living up to my name, E-Cussionist. This is exciting because what we end up doing right now, actually, hold on, let me fix something. What we're ending up doing, okay, and we're back. Excellent. Okay, thank you so much for your patience. Where was I? Oh yeah, we're lucky that I actually end up having to have all this stuff set up because I'm getting ready for this show. So let me walk you through what this setup sounds like. Okay, I'm gonna hit everything.
It just seems like this journey of composing, writing, and performing all started in the subway. It's all coming together right now into a package that is going to express what your musical life has been.
Still the information. Put a record on.
Okay, cool. So that's sort of a walk down of everything that I have the potential to make sound with on this setup. I've got a looping station right here in case I want to create a live loop. Also, this is great in case something with another piece of gear goes wrong and I need to loop something to distract the crowd. And I'm serious about that as sort of a fallback plan. Also, it's just great because you can record some free playing things like shakers and tambourines just as a texture, hit loop, put on a filter, and let that rock. One thing you notice is that I've got this mic that I'm talking to that I usually conduct my lessons with going through a VT4, which is a vocal processor. If I bypass it, right now it's bypassed. So if I bypass the signal and actually give you access to the sound of this thing, it sounds like this. Hey, what's up, world? Welcome. This is E-Cussionist just coming to you live from the actual studio, blah, blah, blah. So then I bypass it, and here's my normal voice. Also, you're picking me up through this microphone because this microphone is picking up how I would, record acoustic elements into the looper. Also, this microphone is picking up the cymbal and the snare drum. Actually, it reminds me to tell you that I'm partnered with Sunhouse on this incredible technology, which is very innovative drum sensor technology, drum trigger technology, if you will, that allows for you to map sounds onto multiple parts of this drum head. And so on the software, you drag and drop different wave files onto certain mapped parts of this. And in this particular case, I have certain things automated. I've got a sequencer going between I don't know how many different layers of sequences of a saxophone sample and this sort of plucking sound. And then I've also got that mapped in different ways over here to this particular bass drum and snare drum setup. Right? And then it's animating that really cool sound. So I've only got the sax sample on this one, and then I've just got these plucky sounds on the snare drum and kick, set to various velocities, set to various sensitivities, because I want to create a dynamic set of layers where everything isn't just triggering the same thing, and that requires you to go in and fine-tooth comb each sample and each layer of these trigger surfaces. And that's Sunhouse Sensory Percussion, and I'm really excited about that. That's the newest piece of technology. And I've also got some long playing samples and really cool sound effects on the SP404. In this case, I've got a really dramatic reverb on this little chordal patch. That's wet. This is dry. And that's the beginning of a beat that I made. That's wet. This is dry. And that's the beginning, complete with tape hiss and all. So I really like this machine because you can actually make and then you can put some crusty isolator sound. All of a sudden, this to me really sounds like a lo-fi old jazz record. But we made this music in 2022. Take the isolator off.
Still the information. 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 Still the information, 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 information.
So, wow, okay, I gave you a little more than I intended to, but I felt the spirit of the moment, and sometimes when you hear really interesting things that inspire you, you just got to go with it. I think one thing, if I want to impart to any of you out there this year, is that when you feel the spirit of the moment in the music, that's really what music making is about. There's a lot of stuff that's extra that goes into the business of music. There's a lot of stuff that's extra that goes into the inner game of performance. Those are all separate conversations. One of the things that is a bridge between those separate conversations and what we're talking about right now is also that the spirit of the inner game of performance always exists even within the business of music and when you're making art with your friends. So the spirit of the moment in which I just actually had, the experience of in front of you was that I got excited about all these electronics in front of me, and I'm really excited about the balance that I've achieved. One thing I want to get to about the technical side of hybrid performance is that you are mixing an acoustic drum which has the absolute volume power to kill all the electronics, because the electronics have a ceiling. They can only go as loud as the fader that it's connected to will allow it to go. But with an acoustic drum, it's all about your physical might and your physical touch. So however loud you hit this drum, it could dominate the electronic sounds that you're trying to play with. And the concept of a hybrid performance is that you're integrating these two worlds. So when we're playing with an electronic sound and we're playing with an acoustic sound, we want to make sure that we're touching the acoustic elements appropriately, and we've got the electronic elements turned up as much as possible. One of the important things that I've learned about the process of creating this particular set is how physical it is, and how actually I've spent more time rewiring cables and moving gear around and bending down and tweaking little nuts and bolts and raising levels by a ½ inch or 3 centimeters, something really small, or replacing a snare drum stand that's too high. So these are physical things, these are logistical things. I've also been navigating the intense complexity of a very technical setup. A complex technical setup which involves a lot of cables, a lot of inputs, outputs, multiple layers of volume, multiple gain stages, and then there's the actual contents, the music of what I'm playing. So I'm having to think of things on 3 different levels. A logistical level, right? Will I be able to set up and tear this down in the venue that I'm performing this at? A musical level, is this satisfactory to my ears, other people's ears, and will this move people for the occasion? And is the set of music that I've created appropriate for the opener slot, right? I'm always trying to give musicians around me an elevated experience, and I'm trying to give an audience their full worth of money. There is a certain element to being the person to start the people off and get the people set and ready, right? So there's that. Am I sufficing all those musical things? And then technically, will it work? Will this vast amount of cables and connections and power supplies and ins and outs work when I set it up, not in my studio, but somewhere else? So these are the things that I'm thinking about. And so I have put together, I think what I've played you is a portion of my set. What I've decided to undertake is playing with each element singularly and making that fun and making that cool and making that honest before I move on to adding a 3rd layer and a 4th layer and a 5th layer. Okay, so let me give you an example of that.
It just seems like this journey of composing, writing, and performing all started in the subway. It's all coming together right now into a package that is going to express what your musical life has been about.
Check, 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 microphone check. What's up, world? Okay, I'm back. We are experimental today over here in the lab. I'm really excited about all these sounds that I'm cooking up. And yeah, we're just having a good old time. Thank you so much for being here with me. This is lesson number 10, focusing on electronics, showing you my process. Let me just go over the exact things that I have here. And I want to give a big shout out to my very, very generous sponsors, Tamburo Drums, made by Proel Corporation. They're out in Italy. Icon Microphones, Sunhouse Sensory Percussion, Roland Corporation, NGO Radio Terra. None of this would be possible without all of you, so thank you for being here with me. I have this SP404, which has got a bunch of long playing samples on it. I have this VT4, which is a vocal processor, which is giving you that really wild woo sound. I have this RC202, which is a simple 2-channel looping station. I have an L12 mixer made by Zune, which allows me to record my sets inside the box and give me clean board recordings, and those board recordings are reflected in really what yours. I have this RPD-SX Pro, and this features a much more robust sound card. I hear the crispiness over these two, but these right here have some very interesting features. They actually have 2 parameter knobs, as well as 4 different access points for immediate effects. This one right here has a much nicer master effect knob, and as you could hear, I was able to do some fun filter things with this. But unfortunately, this actually only gives you one master effect at a time, and it is much less tactile when it comes to sort of DJing your sounds. But they did choose to go for a much more effective screen, larger screen. In fact, I believe this whole thing is really about the screen. But this is also the first generation version of this new pad that has this big of a screen, and I think they'll probably end up refining that and maybe dialing back some functions or not. But I would actually like to see some more access points for the effects as a button. Anything I missed here, I actually have a microphone inside the kick so we could get some extra thump. And did I miss anything? I've got, as far as the pedals go, I've got a bass drum pedal going to this acoustic kick. I have a Yamaha kick trigger, which is playing this long playing drum break. I have a KT10, a Roland KT10, which is triggering a bass line. So there's a lot of options. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is really fun. I am excited to be sharing with you all this material, and we've got more to come. Join me for 2 more lessons in this second trimester of 2025. My name is Ecussionist, aka Matt V, bringing you nothing but the best that he has to offer every single week. Wednesdays at 4 p.m. on NGO Radio Terra's free lessons for all levels and all ages platform. Peace and blessings, you guys. Have a nice day.